Guys, my name is Eduardo Morales, and welcome to a ASME CAD NX Basic Concepts workshop for all ASME members from the UPRM campus. Um, so, in this basically quick video presentation, I'm going to be talking about some basic concepts of what is CAD, how is it used in the industry, how us engineers use it in our daily life, and just some basic concepts of command features for you guys to start using it. And it could be whether your classes or even special projects. So this video is going to be a quick introduction. So it's going to be toggling different basic stuff. So I hope you guys can get the best of it out of it. Without further ado, start it. So what is CAD? So CAD is basically known as computer aided design. It serves different purposes, even in the industry. It's usually made to create models, assembly, and pieces all together. Serves as well as a reference to build any product, so you can do either drawings, do constraints, or even set up tolerances. It really helps the communication between the designers and manufacturing parameters. So I think decide to include this picture right here is really amazing. This is a cross section of an engine, and this is the level of complexity that you could get out of um, CAT design modules. So it's really cool. It gets really cool once you get to dominate it. Um, as I mentioned, it helps set tolerances. That way, design engineers can better communicate with how pieces fit with all of the components. Other than that, it helps in the visualization of the product itself. When you trying to explain something within the design parameters, it's better just to show something rather than not showing anything at all. That way you can explain yourself better. So these are just commonalities of different things that we uh, get to use in the industry. So CAD models is really important. Is one of the first courses that you're going to be taking in UPRM, and it was one of my favorites, to be honest. So anyways, in this smart course, we're going to be doing a bolt screw. I know it's really seems really easy, but that this is the target for this video, is just to get different commands for you guys to start learning what are the different features. So I decided to divide it in two. So I'm going to be giving a command introduction for drawings and feature commands. Within the drawing commands, we just want you guys just to learn about how can you sketch on different planes, and how can you use lines and measurements to create your drawings. Other than that, I plan to use different feature commands, such as extrude feature, revolve feature, edge blend and chamfers, and thread features. I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but this is a good course for you guys to start learning what this means in all reality. So there's different ways you can do a bolt in all reality, but I'm going to be doing it two ways. I'm gonna extrude it from basic drawing and then do a drawing and revolve uh, for it. So I hope you guys learn in this course, and I hope it's beneficial. So I'm gonna be exiting this presentation. I'm gonna be searching for my NX program. It's really cool because I mean, in this workshop, I'm going to be using NX 9.0. There's different versions out there, 8.0, 9.0, 9.5, and it's basically all the same. So if you take this workshop, it's going to be a good base for you guys to work in any of the NX models. So this is our what it's called the command window. This is basically the welcome introduction from NX. So we're going to be go ahead and hit the new icon right here. This is going to be bring this section right here. So this is all the different things that we could do in NX. For example, model. We can do assemblies, and there's just different stuff that we can do. As well as here, there's different things, sections that we could do. Manufacturing. We can do simulations, which is really cool. This is more of an advanced course for NX. That we're just going to try to stay as basic as possible. And we can even do drawings of our models. So we're gonna go ahead and just click a model and select model as here. we're going to be using inches, but feel free to use millimeters or whatever you like. I'm just going to be staying with the American system, so let's leave it at inches. So for this model, I'm going to be just putting bolt screw dash screw. So, and this is really important. Just try to find a folder that you can just put it on and just be accessible for you. I'm just going to save it in my desktop. So I'm going to hit OK and then hit OK. So we're ready to do our bolt model. Um, so this is the basic window that NX gives us. I know it's really complicated, or it seems like it. You have a lot of different windows and different shapes and things that you could do. And in here you have like a date and plane. This is going to be our place to work with. Are you guys? Hope you guys are doing okay. If you want to feel the date and plane and get a feel of the space, you can just uh, hit the middle of your mouse button and just drag, and you can see all the different planes that are accessible for us. So let's get started. The first thing that I'm gonna do is gonna show you the extrude method. So for that method, we're gonna go to Home and then Sketch. In Sketch, this window is gonna pop up, and it's basically gonna ask us what uh, plane do we wanna do the sketch on. So you have different selections. I'm gonna do on plane. Um, in here you have different options as well. Create a datum, create plane, existing plane. I'm just going to use inferred. This is the inferred plane that we have right here. And as you can see, you have different options, different planes. For this drawing, I think it's better to use this one, the YZ plane. That way we can have a better design. So we have all the check marks done. We selected the reference and selected the specify point. So every time we have all the check marks, we are good to go. So we hit click, and there we have our plane. We can start basically doing models. So for our bolt, I'm gonna go ahead and start with a circle. Um, it how NX work is that you select a point, and that in that way you can start doing anything that you want. So there's different options. We could do circle by selecting 3 points, or just a middle circle and select the diameter. So now I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put my circle in the middle of both X plane and Y plane and just hit click. And he's going to give me the options of just select 2 points, exiting point, point of datum coordinate system, which is 0, or this one, which is sketch origin. I'm just going to select number 1 because it seems more visible. So here we have it. We have selected our center of the circle, and we can select our diameter to work with. So remember that we're working in inches. So just it's going to be a big bolt. So I'm going to do a 1 inch sounds good, or 2 inch. So as you can see, it's really difficult to select a diameter by just dragging. So one method that I usually use is just click, and then you can double click in here. This window will open, and you can just enter the value that you want. I'm going to select 2, and then I have my circle with a diameter of 2. And here's the indication. So we're good. So we're good. We basically have the drawing for the head of our screw. So we are good to just hit finish sketch, and then you will have a blue line that indicates sketch 000, which is the first sketch that we did. So next thing up is that we want to create a body out of this. So this is the way that we are going to be doing all of the features. So we're going to be selecting the extrude feature, and this window pops up automatically, and it tells us just to select a curve. This is basically the curve that we're working in, and as you can see, it automatically brings like just like a pop-up of what we want. That way you can see like, is it good or not. So we already specified a vector, which is this direction. That's good. We can select. Just gonna stay in invert for now. And we can select the distance of how much we want that head to be out. For this, I'm gonna be leaving it at 1 inch. That's good for us right now. And then we have it. We have our screw head. Um, so let's do the other part of the screw, which is just the body of where the thread is going to be located. So for the same reason, we're going to do another sketch. So let's go to the sketch window again. We're going to select a plane. So in here, we see that we can do either plane um, or just select the face. So I'm going to do just select that, just select the face, and it automatically brings me a date and plane of that face. So we're good. Just hit OK, and there we go. So then again, we're going to search for the circle operation, bring our mouse to the center, and just do a drag and pull. For this, we can do 1.5. I'm going to do a 1. That seems reasonable enough, or 1.25 sounds better, 115. It's okay. Let's do a 1. That way we have like half. So we select our measurements, erase, and then just 1.0 and hit enter. And there we have it. It's basically straightforward. So we have our second sketch. We can go ahead and finish sketch, and there we have it. Then again, it's the same thing. We're going to go ahead extrude. For this extrude, I'm going to be selecting the curve. And instead of inferred, I'm going to be doing unite. That way it unites this body with this body. So that's what we basically want. We don't want two individual values because if we do a simulation, it's going to be messed up if it considered it as two bodies instead of one. And usually bolts and screws are just one body. So other than that, I'm going to be doing 5. That looks right about right. And just select OK. There we have it. We have basically done our screw. It looks relatively good as of right now. So I'm happy. If this blue lines bother you, you can just select the line and just select hide. That way you hide the sketch that did that. So other than that, I'm going to show you another command. It's called edge blend or chamfers. I'm going to be doing an edge blend. And what I want is if you haven't taken Introduction to Mechanical course to Material of Mechanics, you are going to be learning that if you do radius on things like this, the material is going to be harder to break in some cases. So I want that from my bolt. I want it to be as rigid as possible. So I'm going to be selecting this curve, and you see it creates an automatic chamfer. We can obviously select if we want circular or conic, but I want it to be circular. It's better for our definition. And as you can see, I can actually edit this within the specifications I would like, but I honestly want to leave it at that. It looks good, and it's not a big radius. So just gonna hit OK, and then we have it. We have created an edge blend between our two bodies. So that's good. Like it. Other than that, we want to create a thread for this right here. So let's do that. We can just turn our body around. We're going to do another sketch. It's going to be on this face. Already selected the face, so I hit OK. And the cool thing that I like with NX is that every time you select the plane, it turns you into that plane, so you don't get lost in the 3D plane. So for this time, I'm going to do something different. We're going to go and use the polygon. And for this, it's the same as circle, just going to specify a point. Existed point of data coordinate system, this is good. And then you can see I'm creating an hexagon that I can drag and pull as same as the circle. So I'm going to do it like this. This orientation is good enough for me. And we can select the number of rotations and the radius of it. So I'm going to stay in one rotation and I'm going to do zero point 0.5 of radius. That's good for me. Um, so yeah, let's change this. It's going to be 0.5. There we have it. That's good. Awesome, right? So you already know how to extrude a certain drawing. Now we're going to learn how to subtract once we have already our body. So for this, you have two choices that you can do. You can do a hole or an extrude. I'm just gonna go ahead and do an extrude. And as you can see, it gives me the option of just extruding that, but I don't want that. So you're gonna go to the boolean operation and you're gonna select subtract. That way you can subtract anything that you want. So in terms of the distance, I'm going to be selecting 0.75. That's a good one for me. And actually it's not recognizing that it's a subtraction, and it's because of the direction of the subtraction. So we have to specify better the vector. So for that, it's good enough just to hit this button right here, which is reverse direction. And there we go. That's basically what we wanted. So just select OK. That looks good. And there you have it. You have a hex bolt for now. And that looks pretty good. Um, I don't know. My bolt doesn't look that fancy, so we can add a little bit of aesthetics to this. For this, we can go ahead again to edge blend. I'm going to be selecting this phase, and I want a bigger radius. I'm going to be 0.08. Going to be hitting OK. There you go. That looks really cool, really good. Other than that, I think I'm going to do a chamfer for this inside part for my hex to fit better. So I'm going to go to chamfer right here. I'm going to be selecting the edges. For this, I'm going to be selecting them all. And as you can see, again, it's doing a preview of what I want. And for this, I'm going to be doing 0.5. That looks good, honestly. You can do whatever you like as long as it works and you don't break parameters on NX. um, I usually tend to save my files when I have shown great progress. So go ahead and just hit the save icon right above on top. So there you go. Our bolt is looking really good. So for this reason, the only thing missing is the thread. So let's go. As you can see, there's no feature here. I mean, to my advantage that I can see like a thread. Um, so every time I don't see a feature that I don't recognize, you have a really good, nice tool here. It's called Find a Command, and you can just simply type the thing that you want to do, hit enter, and NX is going to give you different alternatives um, to do whatever you want. So honestly, for this matter, we were going to be doing first the helix. Um, so this is what NX brings to us. And this is really a little bit complicated, this part, because I don't want that vector, I want this vector. But the specifications of it, it really messes it up. So let me see how I can do this. There we go. I think there's a better way to identify how to do a helix. But I think that's good enough. Select a little bit closer. That's a pretty good helix. So we have done our helix, and the thing that's missing is the thread itself. Let's go again to the command window. Let's type in thread, and select this one first thread that it gives us right here. For this, I'm going to be just erasing that. And so it gives us different things that we could do. I'm going to do a symbolic, non-detailed thread. I'm going to be selecting left hand. You have to select the face of the extrude. Select the start. I'm going to be doing this as the start. and that looks good. So extend through the start. It's good. Let's hit OK and OK. See what happens. There we go. We have a threaded bolt. Huh. I don't know why, but my thread didn't complete it exactly. So let's go back to. So the thing that if something like this happens, you can actually look up for the different things that you've done. Um, there's different windows here that indicate the different things that you've done. So there's this window called Park Navigator, and here's all the things that we've done so far. As you can see, this is the last thing that we did, which was the thread. You left click it and just hit edit parameters. And in here, you can select feature dialogues. Let's see, length. Let's just select 5, which is the complete length of my bolt. Just select OK. NX is just thinking about it. Oh, still hasn't gone through. Let's do it again. Edit parameters, feature dialog. Let's do 5.5 or 6. See if that works. NX is thinking again. And there we have it, folks. A nice looking screw hex bolt. That's pretty nice. Awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Just heat. So this time we're going to be doing a bolt again, but with the revolve command. So let's go ahead and just hit new. Same window is going to be popping out. Sure, we have inches on, and just write another number for it. Let's just do bolt or screw bolt 2. That works. Hit OK, and we have our window again. So let's go to sketch. That's basically how it goes every time we select a plane. And for this time, it'll be better just selecting this plane right here, the XZ plane. And you're gonna know why in a bit. So we have everything good. Select OK. Now we have it our plane. So for this, let's just select the line parameter. So what revolves mean is that we are going to be selecting a figure and we're going to be revolving around it. So for this, I'm going to be just selecting half. I'm going to be doing half of the bolt in my CAD model. So I'm going to be drawing a line right there. That's not the dimension that we want, honestly. So we're going to do, what is cool about NX is that you can perform math operations for your dimensions. That way you can just get a feel of everything that we have done. So for example, the last thing we for the body we selected 5 inches, and for the head we selected 1 inch. So it's gonna be 6 in total. That's basically what we want. So this is the complete length of my bolt. So we're gonna be selecting line again. This is the point that we want to be doing the line. Just hit whatever, and then just erase this dimension that we have here, and we could do it was 1 inch, so we can do half an inch this time. Remember, we're going to be revolving it, so we want that as tight as possible. We select another drawing line, and for this one I want it to be 5, so delete that again, put that 5 over there, hit enter, so we have all our dimensions. And for here, we're going to be doing we can even do a square, honestly, for you guys to get a feel of the square function. So that's where I want my square to be at. So the width of my cube is going to be 1. That's good. And this dimension, I want it to be, so it's going to be half and half, so it's going to be 1, 2. And there we have it. We have a clean square. So if I finish my sketch here, NX is not going to be recognizing this as a whole figure because of this line right here. We want to delete that line. We could do two things. I could just delete this line and draw another line from this point to this point, or select this function, which is quick trim. Just select the curve that you don't want, and it automatically clears it up for you. That's good. Um, and do you remember the chamfer that we did, the edge blend? I want to kind of do that the same thing here. So I'm going to be selecting another parameter, which is fillet. So I'm going to be selecting this line and this line, and it creates a fillet that I can just drag and pull my fillet. So I'm going to be selecting that. We actually did 0.0.05 on that last one, so I'm going to do the same thing. Just hit enter and close, and then I have it, my fillet. I also included an edge blend right here, so I'm going to do that as well. Selecting this line, I could do the same thing. For that, I think it was like 0.08. Select this one, delete all this number right here, select 0.08, just hit enter, close, and there it is. Looks pretty good, right? So I think we're pretty good to do our revolve figure. So let's hit the finish sketch function, and there we have it. This is supposed to be finished our figure that we want to revolve. So we basically want to do one more thing before doing the operation. Um, so I'm going to be editing this sketch again. So it's going to be edit. And this is going to be the reference line that I'm going to be revolving again against. So let's hit right click on that. And we're going to be selecting convert to reference. That is going to be the line that I'm going to be pinpointing to do the revolve. So it's going to be a reference line as it shows here. After that, we're good. So we can select finish sketch, and we can go ahead and do the revolve operation. So this window is going to be popping up. We are going to be selecting a curve. Our curve is this one. We're going to be specifying a vector. We're going to be using this vector right here. So I select that. And rather than that, the only thing missing is just specify a point. And there you go. After selecting the angle of 360 degrees, we get our revolve figure. Um, so select none and apply. And there we go. You have our selected screw. So everything else is just standard. If you want to add the hex or anything else, and the thread, that's going to be your assignment. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. NX is a really cool tool to be working with. Hopefully on the next videos I can show you more commands and more things to be done.